Hello and welcome to another episode of Five Deep, a podcast where five podcasters from around the world get together each week to achieve their goals using accountability. Now, if you're watching us here on YouTube, please like, subscribe and share. And if you're listening to us on your podcast, please tell a friend, leave a review on Apple and Spotify. Right, what's going on, guys? Why are you laughing? What's so funny?
Rodney was holding his hand up like, whoa. I was like,
Well,
what's going on?
At least he's got clothes on, because when I come in earlier on, he was sat in here naked.
Listen, man, I was having some private time with me in the stream yard.
I could see that. Anyway, guys,
OnlyFans.
We are 3 deep at the moment. Lee is in a hotel this evening, and apparently the internet is terrible. So he's had to drop out. He might turn up. We don't know. And, you know, we kind of know what old Howard's like. You know, he just rock and rolls when he feels like it. I think he's on Texas time, isn't he? Is Texas time a little bit backward, Harmony?
Yeah, he's central. So they're an hour behind us. It's technically 3:15, but he'll probably pop in a second.
Yeah, he'll be here. Anyway, this week's episode, are you lying to yourself? Are you putting the right practices in place? Are you both physically and mentally fit? What happens if you're not? Are you lying to yourself? Loads of questions there, and we're going to go deep into that in a minute. I'm really, really looking forward to this one. It's a shame that Lee can't be with us tonight because, you know, he's doing wonderful things at the moment regarding this, and it would have been great to have him here with us, but there we are. Highs and lows of the week, Harmony? Is there anything that's been going on in your life that's been rocking and rolling at the moment or hindering you a little bit?
My high is I feel like I'm always in a state of a high. I just feel like I've got a good forward motion. I feel like I don't have to think about movement. I don't have to think about how I eat. And that was something I think I forget sometimes, especially as you're starting your new journey, that I forget how hard that was for me for my whole adult life. Like I struggled with it so terribly. And so that's going to be my gratitude, I think, in my high for this week, seeing as how much I care for you. And I know you're going to be starting this journey, just reminding myself of how I've kind of knocked it out of the park with that and that how I struggled with it for so long. So that's definitely my high. And my low, I think, again, it's the time management thing. I'm trying to get this ebook out by the end of the month. I would really like it to have live on my website on June 30th. And I got caught slipping a little bit. I spent a little bit too much time watching British true crime this weekend, and I could have totally been on my laptop. So I got caught slipping for sure on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh my God.
Right.
Rodney, is that Harmony Garcia saying that she slipped this week?
What is up with that?
What about you, Rodney? What's your high and low of the week been, mate?
First, I would like to ask Harmony, what would Harmony say to that reveal you just popped on us?
She'd say, damn, girl, you preaching all this shit, trying to be lazy and watch TV all weekend?
I know exactly what she would do. She did, I think, Harmony's war cry just like that.
Oh my God, my face is as red as that GIF.
That's
Fuck, that is hilarious.
Rodney's been behind the scenes making all these banners, and they're absolutely fantastic.
God, Rodney, that is killer.
That's
and
great.
You get your Harmony's war cry back.
Yes.
Well, that's the main thing for me. I was like, you know, I'm getting it somehow, some way. Even if you say I'm not using that shit, I every now and then I just turn it on.
No, I love it. I love that. That just made my whole day, for real.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got a question that you'd like to ask me, Harmony, and Rodney, Lee's just popped in. He'll be here in a minute, I think. If you've got any questions that you'd like to ask us tonight, please get in the comments and leave us a comment, and we will do our best to answer them. Did you give your high and low of the week there, Rodney? You didn't get a chance, did you?
No, I didn't. So my high last week, and I'm going to carry it into this week, is I spent like a good amount of time like at the beach and at the park. I just pulled up and just, you know, looking out into the water and just watching people and stuff like that. Just relaxing, maybe listening to a little something here and there, but just quiet. I mean, I spent a really good amount of time. Yeah, and my low, there was no low. You know, I was punching the lows off last week. You know what I'm saying? Just punching and kicking all them lows out off me. And I had such a, like I said, I'm excited for some of the stuff that was coming to me when I was hanging out by myself.
Sweet. Well done, you. Well done, you. My high of the week is, I think, seeing the sign. You know, I mean, I've been progressing. We've all been progressing so much in the last month. And then, you know, seeing that I've put on weight again and I'm feeling a little bit crap in myself, and it's down to, you know, putting on the weight basically. And, you know, just seeing the signs. And that's what we're going to be talking about on this episode, you know. And the low I would see is stepping on the scales this morning and seeing that I've actually put on more, like 2 pounds more than when I, you know, was at my heaviest last year. But hey ho, shit happens. And today's the first day. But Lee, or should we call you Spartacus? Welcome.
How are we?
Not too bad. A little bit of lag there, but you are with us. That's the main thing. Well,
Yeah,
he was.
I'm here.
You bastard, you. You playing with us. How's it going, man? Have you had a good week?
Yeah, it's been fucking awesome, mate. Unstoppable. Been
Cool.
fantastic.
What's your high and low of the week then? Because I see that your missus is at home at the moment. The boiler's broke down. She's got no hot water, no gas or anything. And you're out, you know, enjoying yourself in a hotel while they're eating bloody KFC.
I know. I mean, I know where I'd rather be. And
Yeah,
I am
very
where
true.
I'd rather be. Yeah, high and low of the week. High is, new boiler, man. It's being fitted. Hence the reason why we've got no gas. Low is not fucking being there to see it.
Yeah. You're having some major work done, man, and it's looking. I'm enjoying following the progress. It looks really cool.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming, man.
Just in time, we got another one. We are officially 5 deep. Good evening there, Howard, at the International Space Station. How the hell are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, doing well. Glad
Yeah.
to be here.
Is your clock stopped? You watch or something? You know, up in space, is the batteries run out or what?
No, I literally had all this. I had to go to this room because the wife is off this week. So,
Right.
you know, there's a lot of noise in there. So I moved everything in here, and she was taking Sam into the bedroom to put in his crib. And the bottle, she dropped the bottle. I think he knocked it out, and it broke, and glass went all over the floor. So I had to keep him in the bedroom, or else he'd be running all through the glass. So I got delayed. So I'm here.
At any point, did you want to give out That's enough of that.
I like it.
Rodney,
I also got held up as well because I had to make some Howard's Blend plant-based protein powder with 20 grams of protein per serving. You can hit me up on Instagram at Howard's Blend, and now on TikTok at Howard's Blend.
I can't believe that you rock up late, 8 minutes late, and the first thing you do is start promoting that. How rude.
I do want to remind everybody that Howard's Blend plant-based protein powder has 20 grams of plant-based protein per serving.
It's terrible.
I wasn't aware of that, mate, but thank you for telling me.
Sure, absolutely.
So what's your high and low of the week been there, mate?
Oh boy. Let's see. Yeah, for the low, let's see what would be the low. That's tough for me to think of a low at the moment. I'm sure there is one. I can't think of off the top of my head. Just high would be just, I guess, moving forward on the goals. That's what it would be. Just baby steps, which is as long as even if I'm crawling, as long as I'm moving forward, that's what I'm happy with. So I'll stick with that.
I've actually got a high and a low. It's a joint one that I forgot to tell you, right? This weekend, I went down to the Royal Cornwall show. If you looked at me on Instagram, you'll see all the pictures there. And the high, but I'm not sure if it's a high or a low. I'll leave you to decide this one. The day before, Boris Johnson was at the Royal Cornwall show, and I missed him, right? Imagine if we had been on face to face on Instagram. How amazing would that have been? So I don't know whether it's a high that I missed him or a low that I didn't miss him. And I'll leave that up to you. What do you say, Howard?
I was going to say, if you both were able to get on Instagram, I couldn't tell the difference between the two. I mean, it's just like, who's who?
2 cockwombles.
2 cockwombles. Actually, hashtag cockwomble. Let's get it massive. So this week's episode, we're talking about, are you lying to yourself? Harmony, do you want to start us off? What we're talking about this week?
Yeah, just like being able to differentiate when you are bullshitting yourself. So for example, if you are really wanting to start a workout routine or a movement routine, how to differentiate when you actually need a day of rest versus when that's your old self trying to find its comfort zone again. It's really difficult. So I'm really excited about this topic. I'm glad we all get to be here for this.
Yeah. I was a little bit concerned that Lee wasn't going to be here because I think this is brilliant for him, to be honest with you. But do we all need to be physically fit in our everyday life to achieve the goals that we want? No,
I mean, our version of that. I think that wherever we go, we take our self-image with us, and our self-image, whether we want to admit it or not, you can't go anywhere in this world without thinking about what your appearance is. And it's not even really necessarily about vanity, but how do you feel in your own skin? And I just think it's not really about a size. It's not really about, in other words, my comfort zone of my weight would seem high to a lot of women. I'm 5'7". I'm curvy. For me to be what a lot of women want to be, I would look like I was dying. So my comfort zone of weight is around 155, 160. And that's usually where I hover. But to a lot of people, that's a lot of weight. But that's where I'm comfortable. And I know, you know how it is, Mark. If you go over a certain amount of weight, you feel off.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not, for me, I just reached a point in my life at my age that I've made peace with how my body is. I love my body. I appreciate my body for what it does for me. And I kind of have a real big understanding about what I can feed it, how much movement she needs, and the weight that I want to be, and then I think once that's okay, I can focus on other things in my life, because look at how much you're about to embark on this big journey, and you're going to be posting it, and you're going to have a lot of struggles, especially because you live in a household with other people. But I don't know. I just think that it can be looked at as a distraction if what you're focusing on all the time every day is what I'm eating, am I moving, am I dut. And it really does take up a lot of time, as you guys all would agree, until you whip it, until you're to it. Like, I literally every day of my life don't have to think about food or movement. I just got to a point finally where I just do it. I'm just on autopilot. And I didn't realize how much time it was taking up in my life, thinking about what am I going to eat, all the food choices. Am I going to manage to get to the gym today? Am I going to spend another week pissed off at myself because I didn't go last week? It's just, I guess I didn't realize how much weight and appearance monopolized my time for so many years. Do you guys agree with that? Like, I guess, does what I'm saying make sense?
Yeah, I mean, Lee's hit the gym there now. He's trying his hardest there. Well, he's doing his best to get out there to the gym every day. There, Lee, do you want to just carry on with where Harmony is on that one?
Yeah, it's just making what it is you're trying to achieve habitual, trying to fit it into your life, amending your structure to accommodate the things that you want to achieve. I go to the gym every day. Unfortunately, not today because the closest gym is an hour away from me. But that didn't stop me doing 50 burpees tonight, and I'm absolutely knackered. But I go to the gym every day, whether it's if I'm in a hotel doing this, or I'm actually at home, or I'm somewhere where the gym is. And it took me ages to stop lying to myself and give myself excuses and bullshit myself. The other night the last thing I wanted to do, I put on my Instagram. I didn't want to go to the gym. I was knackered. There's no way I was going to the gym. But I counted to 3. I got off my slobby ass. I made my pre-workout and I went to the gym. And it's your level of commitment to what you're trying to achieve. Do you want to lose weight? Yeah, go to the gym. Oh, I can't be bothered. Right, don't fucking talk to me about losing weight then. So you really got to decide, do I really want to do this? And it's not necessarily going to the gym. It's creating a website or starting a business or whatever. If you really want to do it, then there's no excuse, there's no bullshit, there's no lies.
And it's not all about losing weight, is it there, Howard? Because Howard goes to the gym and he goes out on the trails and stuff, and he doesn't need to lose weight. But Howard, I know that if you don't get out and do your daily movement and exercise, you feel shit about yourself, don't you?
Yes, sir. That's correct. It goes to what Lee and Harmony brought up, where it becomes a habit. It's turned into a lifestyle. So it's no longer look at it as, oh gosh, I got to go to the gym. It's, hey, I get to go to the gym today. Awesome. It gives me a chance to improve myself. Lee brought it up with I think he mentioned like your level of commitment. The same choices that anybody makes every day can be used to either eat fast food or to eat a salad, with salmon or something like that. We still have to make the choice. You make the choice to either sit down on your butt and do nothing or get up and at least go for a walk. So it still takes the same choices still have to be made. It's just, are you going to take a choice to actually improve your life or to stay with the status quo where you're unhappy with what you're doing, but then you have to make that choice to change?
I find it goes around in a complete circle, because 6 months ago, I was on a right mission to lose some weight and feel good about myself. And I lost 19 pounds and I was doing really, really well. And then I put in a limiting belief, which is I feel that I put pressure on myself and I, have a go at myself. I can't remember what was it I called it in the past? Can you remember?
It wasn't it a
Self-sabotage.
Now, whether that is a thing or whether it's in my head, I don't know. But I put a self-sabotage thing in place, and then I've put all the weight back on again. And I know personally that when I put the weight on, I feel shit in myself. So I'm at a stage now where I'm doing well on my social media. I'm getting my podcasts out. That sort of side of me is doing well. And now I need to step up the level. And for me to improve on that, I need to get physically fit to become even more mentally fit. Do you know what I mean? So, like we was going on there, Rodney, it's not all about losing weight, is it? You have to do all this exercise to make you feel mentally fit, don't you?
Yeah. And also, I feel better when I'm, in better physical condition. When I get my heart rate going on a regular basis, when I speed it up, and when I'm at resting, I feel a little better. I was speaking of, you was talking about Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, there's these commercials now for guys where it's like a T-shirt that it's like you don't have to work out. The T-shirt fits you around the arms and the chest, but I guess it loosens around the stomach to make you look more fit or whatever. So yeah, we lying to ourselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is and it's to each his own. I don't feel as good when I'm heavy. So it could be about weight for somebody, or it could be about fit, how your clothes fit. But in general, I think it's just good to get moving and to get exercise. And they say you lose it if you don't use it. So get going. And also, it's a great stress reliever. Like, I'm talking about blow off hella steam, man. You and those dumbbells or barbells, or if you squatting, you know what I'm saying, or burpees, you can how much cursing did you do when you were doing those burpees, Lee? You know what I'm saying? That's all stress relief. So the benefits to me, unless you have physical problems that you can't do it, then I think the benefits, far outweigh.
But I mean, even the physical thing, we was talking about this in our Voxer there. It didn't get heated, but I could tell that there was a little bit of friction there. We was talking about physical activity, and some of us aren't in a situation where we're able to do something because of a disability or something. Is that an excuse, Harmony?
Absolutely. There's always something you can do. My grandmother just turned 101. Okay. She's got what she calls her Cadillac, which is her walker. And she might not do it as much as she did last year, but she still goes out for her walks with her Cadillac around her apartment complex. And what that is, in my opinion, self-appreciation. It's self-love and self-appreciation. And it's almost like the older she gets, the more she values that she's still around. And I think what happens a lot of time is we don't appreciate our body for what it does for us every day. We just are so and it's, it's the human condition. We just assume we're going to wake up the next day. We assume we're not going to have to go to the doctor. We assume we're not going to get a diagnosis. And a lot of people don't start taking care of their body until the shit's hit the fan. And I think it's really a shame. And thank God I got to a point where I realized the terrible things I have put in my body and done to my body, and how laborious of jobs I've had since I was 14, 15. The fact that I'm able to go out into the woods, I mean, I look at that as a gift. And I know I've talked to you guys about it before. Exercise and movement is not something I have to do. It's not even something I would put it on a to-do list, because that immediately gives you a negative relationship with it. It's something I get to do. And it sounds pretty simple, and I've talked about it before, but it really is the way you talk to yourself about shit. It 100% is. And if I hadn't done it and experienced the magic of that, I would call bullshit on it too. But I realized, and I use the mortality tool. I use visualization. I imagine to myself, what would happen if something happened to me tomorrow, either diagnosis or disease, or I got in a car accident. And now I'm envisioning myself, I do this more than you guys think I do. I envision myself laying in a hospital bed in downtown Asheville, looking out the beautiful windows and seeing the mountain skyline, and being in there and not able to get out. And just immediately remembering how free, I'm trying to say this without crying, how free and unimposed upon I feel when I'm in those woods with my dog. If I was in the hospital bed and I could not go do that, I would be hoping, and it would be my main priority. I wish I could just put on some tennis shoes and go play in the woods. I wish I could go feel what it feels like to have the wind blow through my hair when I'm running. And I think that people don't visualize that. I think the majority of us as a society lie to ourselves about everything. And that's why people don't want to meditate. That's why people don't want to stop and get quiet. That's why people want to scroll and shop and fuck and drink and do all these things, because your brain knows what you need to be doing for your life. And whether that's kick your partner to the curb, or tell your job to fuck straight off, or stop eating this and start moving there and doing all these things, we don't want to hear that, because we know subconsciously on some level that the shit that our subconscious tells us when we're quiet is our truth.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I could go off on a tangent about that. Yeah, you have to cut me off or I'll keep going.
I mean, our body is forever making excuses. It wants to remain in its comfort zone. And I like what you said there, Harmony, because none of us that are in this room now, nobody that's watching us now, can 100% put the hand in the air and say, I will not be involved in a car accident tomorrow, and I will not be taken to hospital, and I will not be paralyzed. I mean, I know it's a little bit of a morbid thing to say, but you don't know that. And what happens if you was? What happens if tomorrow you found out that you'd never be able to walk again? So it's almost a case that you've got to make the most of the time that you've got. And if that was to happen, how would that change your life?
Well, I mean, look at what Lee was talking about with the job that his wife has, and her, going there and being around a bunch of old timers all the time, and him having a conversation with a lot of these people about what their regret is, what they wish they would have done differently. And, I don't want to steal the words out of Lee's mouth, but it's a pretty high number of people. And I don't doubt that if I went into any old folks home around me right now and I walked through and I asked every individual, what is your biggest regret? Not doing the things that I always wanted to do. Yeah. Worrying too much what other people thought about me, being too lazy. So my question is, most of what happens is we start something and then we start telling ourselves a bunch of lies, right? And then we quit. And so my question for each of you is, and I'll ask myself too, is why the quitting?
Yeah.
What do each of you think that's rooted in?
Go on, Lee.
Yeah, it's, even though there's 5 of us here that are fully committed, most of the time, doing the things that they know they should be doing. Even now, it's a silly little thing, but it just popped into my head when what Harmony was saying. Even now, I'll get into the cold shower, right? and I'll feel it on my feet. And you know when you take your socks off and you get like sock fluff, and then you step in the shower, and then your sock fluff gets stuck to the bath or the shower, right? So I'll be stood there, and I'll be like, right, I need to get in the shower, but I'll be sort of swirling the water around my feet to avoid getting in the shower. It's just stupid things. I'm like, what are you doing? Get in the fucking shower. Stop bullshitting. Stop making excuses like, oh, I need to get this fluff off my socks, off my feet. Or just do it. Go to the gym. Get off your fat fucking ass. Make the phone call.
Let me jump in real quick, Lee. I just want to make sure everybody knows that he's talking about a ice cold shower. He's not talking about he has trouble just taking a regular shower.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah,
I just want to be clear because you know that you're talking about something specific, like a cold ass shower. That's that's what I wanted to make right. I wanted to make sure you cleared. I don't want people listening saying this dude he don't want to get in the shower.
yeah.
But I wanted to
ice cold shower. Yeah, you're right.
See, I mean, this is something that I struggle with. And like I say, I've made the excuse, I call it self-sabotage. And we talked about this last week, and we was chucking the shit at one another last week on Voxer, because I said how I lost 19 pounds and I was feeling amazing in myself. And then, I can't remember what the excuse it was that I used. Something had happened. My auntie died. That was it. My auntie died. And then I started to comfort eat. And then I self-sabotaged and put all the weight back on. And that was the excuse that I used, And it's just like, I mean, there is, self-sabotage is a thing. It is. We all know that it is a thing. But why am I using that? When I'm feeling really great about myself, why am I using that as an excuse, Lee?
See, I see this as the upper limit problem. It's the same thing, but I call it the upper limit problem because I've read this bloody book by, can't remember, Gay Hendricks.
Yeah, I've read it as well.
That is the perfect time that you've hit your upper limit. Now, what perhaps you should have done was double down and say, look, I've just lost a valuable family member. Let's double down and accelerate what I'm doing. But maybe, and this could be completely wrong, subconsciously, the emotions got the better of you, and you sort of feel shit about yourself and all the things that you haven't achieved, and you just, subconsciously you could have gone, oh, fuck it, why bother? But that's the perfect time. You hit that upper limit, you double down, and you accelerate even more in that situation.
And we all do it, don't we? We'll go to work. We'll have a shit day at work, won't we? And we'll come home or you've fallen out with the other half, or the kids have annoyed you, and you've had a real shit day. And some people take to the bottle, some people have a smoke, some people take drugs, some people eat. And it's our way of punishing ourselves, isn't it, Howard?
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned it. Some people, their crutch is food, other it's drink, smoking, etc. I did want to say, I made some notes here on this, that when Harmony mentioned, what is it? 1 second here, y'all. Fill the time, because you guys say all this stuff, and I write it down because I don't want to forget it. Yeah, we don't want to take care of our health until we've received a bad news or something on it, and it's to me, it goes back just to like the procrastination. We'll make an excuse, we'll put it off to down the road. And then even when people get a bad diagnosis, do they even then focus on their health, or do they just say, whatever, just fuck it. I'm going to do whatever. It's too late now because I've already got a bad diagnosis. I won't change it. I've known people with diabetes that don't watch their diet or any of that. They're saying, whatever. And that's one of the horrors of diabetes, is it's kind of a slow encroaching disease that could take years or something for something bad to happen. There was something else I wanted to say that Lee mentioned. You said you find yourself making excuses and delaying getting into the cold shower. And everybody goes through, there are times when I always say life gets in the way, and then you feel that it puts a hamper on the goals you're trying to achieve. Me personally, there are days where life gets me and I'm like, okay, for today, I'm just going to spend some time alone and not focus on things that I should be doing. But then the next day, I'm back into it. I've had days where it's been horrible days and I'm like, okay, I'm going to quit my damn job. I'm just so pissed off. But I tell myself, wait. Take this time to yourself. Like Harmony says, meditate on it. Just relax, meditate. And the next day I'm like, I was going to quit my job over that. What the fuck am I doing? And just go right back to it. So I think I answered your question and then added some extra.
I wanted to say too, for people watching, that meditation, don't get twisted on that, is because when Rodney was speaking earlier about going to the beach and the time that he spent down at the beach, that was meditation. He might have been sitting there in his car with his eyes wide open, but that is a version of meditation. He chose to go there alone, focus on the beauty of where he was. He was full on in meditation for however long he went out there. So you guys, meditation doesn't have to mean sitting quietly, crisscross applesauce on the floor with your, champa burning and your candles and your lighting and, all that shit. Meditation could be a fucking Lee doing burpees. That can be considered a meditation. You know what I mean? There's all lots of different forms of it. For me, it's running in the woods. I didn't realize that for the last 3 years I've been doing that, even though I'm listening to really loud 80s music and, I'm running and sweating and my eyes are open and I'm taking everything in. That's a form of meditation. So then the other thing I wanted to say that I think a lot of people don't give a lot of credit to, at least consciously, when it comes to quitting and failing and giving up on things, that especially when we feel like we're hitting some momentum, is what's going on around us has so much to do with that. And if we're not feeling supported by the people around us, or we're feeling maybe not really particularly good about ourselves, I think that if you guys will probably all shake your head in agreement with this. When you're feeling unstoppable, when you're feeling on top of the world, when you're feeling the pinnacle of confidence, you want to tackle everything. That's when you start shit. That's when you start hobbies. That's when you start posting on Instagram. That's when you're doing all the fucking things. You're almost manic about it. But then something happens. Your partner says something that pisses you off. Your job pisses you off. You get a glance of yourself in the mirror accidentally when you're jumping out of the shower. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, whoa, what the fuck's that? I think it throws us off. And then when you start feeling a little bit down, you start asking yourself those questions. What the fuck is it all for? Why am I even doing this to begin with? I don't have support here. I don't have support there. I mean, am I ever really going to lose the weight? Am I ever going to really accomplish the thing? And we just screw ourselves. And it becomes this like perpetual conversation / argument that we're having with ourselves. And I think that especially Lee, because he's been deep diving into this mindset thing. I mean, I'm sure Lee would agree that him going to he's done one full, huge, long week of going to the gym. He's knocked it out of the park. He's had some serious conversations with himself this week. I guarantee it. Have you not, Lee? Like every day it's been, should I go? Am I going to go? How long am I going to go? And it's a lot of work.
I find as well, though, that a lot of the time is that we do put ourselves a lot of pressure on ourselves to get started. How many times have New Year's resolutions, prime example, Christmas, you're eating and loads of shit, and then you say, right, tomorrow I'm going to start. Now, I'll tell you what, we'll wait till New Year's. I have a New Year's resolution. And so many times we say, right, I'm going to start tomorrow, or I'm going to start Monday. We put all this pressure on ourselves, whereas what you should really be doing is saying, right, I'm going to actually start now. And, I might not be going to the gym today, but I shall start something new, go out and do some walking or some cycling, or just do any small little thing to get the ball rolling and get the ball started and to make yourself better today than what you was yesterday.
Well, don't you agree, though? That's the big fuck up with everybody when they're trying to complete something, is you're making it huge. Yeah. I'm going to start this big thing on whatever the fuck. On Monday, I'm going to start. It's going to be amazing. And my life's going to change. And it's fucking overwhelming. Like, don't think about it that way. Just be like, I'm going to worry about it meal by meal. If I'm not doing it, if next Friday I fuck up and have a hot dog, then I guess I do. But I think it's like, what's your end goal? Okay, well, Mark started today, but I'm sure you felt the pressure, buddy, because we're all watching you. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, is like, it's great to have the support, but I think a lot of people, justifiably so, because that's what they see people doing, is they're like, yeah, I'm going to start, and I've got this, and I got the new tennis shoes and the new water bottle. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to run down the store and get some spinach. It's going to be fucking great. And then 7 days later, you're back on the fucking Hostess cupcakes. I mean, I just think, I think that the first mistake is don't design it in your head that you're cutting anything out. Just start looking at these beautiful meals. Like that meal you had this morning, I was drooling over. It looked so good. Don't look at it as a program 10 thing. Just like that's just what you're eating today. You know what I mean? Like, cause and somewhere in your head, you're like, okay, in order to lose this many stone, I've got to be doing this 4 weeks from now. And I better make sure, how am I going to work out Friday? I don't know. I mean, it's just too much. And then that's when people are like, I'm throwing in the towel. Fuck it. I don't care.
Well, I mean, I just set myself a goal for today, small little steps. So
That's
my
perfect.
first goal was today, get up, take the kids to school, come back, get myself some breakfast, start off with a nice bit of meditation. I've done it an hour's meditation today. I really, really enjoyed it. And then I went out for a little bit of a walk, not very far, but a little walk. Then I had to come back and do some jobs and get all that lot done. But, you know, I've done more today than what I would normally do on my day off. So little small steps. And then I know tomorrow, you know, I'll be back on my round, doing my post round, you know, walking the walk. And as long as I'm eating properly, I know that I'm going in the right direction. And you know, you feel the benefits even on the second day. You know, but did you want to say something there, Lee? Because you put your hand up there just a minute ago. Is it still relevant for what we're talking, or you know, or what, mate?
Yeah, it is. A book recommendation for everybody who is overthinking. Don't Believe What You Think by Joseph Nguyen. He makes a distinction between your thoughts and thinking. We have like 6,500 thoughts a day, and to our detriment, we get tangled up in a thought and we start thinking about said thought. And before we know it, it's an hour and you've made up all kinds of reasons why you're not going to go to the gym. You know, like, oh, I need to put the washing on. And then, oh, shit, you know, that needs to be done. Oh, yeah. And then, do you know what? Forget it tonight. And today, you know, today's finished. Tomorrow comes. You know, back to that cold shower example. I get in the shower and then I start going, oh, there's fluff. I better clean it. Rather than going, don't worry about the fluff. Get in the shower. I'm thinking about the thought. And that is detrimental. Don't think about the thoughts. Yeah. There's a lesson. Take your socks off before you get in the shower. Stop thinking about your thoughts and just do.
Well, I also have a question for each of you. Is what do you think how much of this really is rooted in what you think the payoff is going to be? Because I think most people give up on shit because they don't think the payoff's going to be worth it. Why do you think people start going through troubles with their partner? And all of a sudden, girlfriend's out getting a new hairdo. Girlfriend's out, she's watching what she's eating because she's predicting, I'm getting ready to leave this relationship. I better get my shit straight and start walking the line and start looking beautiful, feeling beautiful, because the payoff's big. You know why? Because she's getting ready to leave this chump to go try and find somebody else. There's the payoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can give you another gym example. And I mentioned this on the Voxer group the other day. I was doing some lifting weights and all the rest of it. And I said to you guys in the Voxer group, and I was like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Am I doing it? You know, am I got the technique right? Because I can't feel it in my chest. Howard knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm like, I can't feel anything. Did I do this right? And it's easy to go, oh, this isn't fucking working. Forget about it. But actually, the day after, I touched myself. I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, I was doing it right. But it's easy to get carried. I'm not seeing instant results. I'm not getting anywhere. Fuck it. Forget about it. You know, when you try and run, I can't run for shit. But if I get outside and I run for 5 minutes, I'm out of breath. My ribs are killing me. I got a cramp. You know, I got fucking stitch or whatever. And I'm like, fuck it. Is this worth it? Nah, man. Fuck it. I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. But this is the upper limit problem again. All right, call it a day. You've had enough. Walk back home. Tomorrow, do it again. Walk back home. Your legs are killing you after 3 days. I'm in so much pain I can barely bend down to pick up my socks. They've got fluff all over the flour.
There we go.
Just take a day off. It's just stop thinking. Just act in the moment. Eckhart Tolle, live in the moment. All right, your legs are hurting. Don't go for a run. Go for a walk for a couple of days.
I mean, a good thing as well. I mean, first of all, before I say this, there's 5 people currently watching at the moment, right? I want you to get into the comments, and I want to put down there, you know, are you lying to yourself? Is there anything that you're lying about? What things do you struggle about with is it with relationships or money or anything that? What things do you tell yourself that you're lying, you know, to yourself about? Diet, are you happy with your diet, your food? What things, you know, are you struggling with? What lies do you use? Excuses do you make? Get in the comments or ask us a question and we'll help you out. Howard, over to you.
All right, it's unmuted now. Oh yeah, I just had some with Lee on when he said he couldn't feel it in his chest. that's happened in my experience when you're doing something new. You're into lifting weights now, and then when you're going through that process of trying to learn how to do the technique and everything, it's uncomfortable. So our first reaction is, oh, this is not for me. No, I shouldn't do it. I'm not saying you're saying that. When I started getting back into running, however long ago, oh, it doesn't feel right. I don't think my technique is right. Running's not for me. It just takes time. Like anything, it takes time. Eventually you'll get what's called the mind-muscle connection, where you can really focus on, you'll be able to hit the muscles exactly how you want it when you lift it. It takes time. And then to Harmony, she was talking about, like, forgot the situation, but I remember what came to mind is that the people that, before I start a diet or an exercise program, I have to have a new pair of shoes, or I have to have, I've got to get a new outfit to go to the gym. I've got, I think she mentioned that, like the new outfit and everything. It's like, that's all a form of procrastination. It has to be quote unquote perfect before it can begin. It will never be perfect. Anybody wanting to go on a diet can start today. The easiest thing they can do is, well, for dinner, I normally have a Coca-Cola. Let me have a water instead, or let me have a Diet Coke, whatever. Just small, as we have talked about, just small increments. And just cutting out Coca-Cola alone or cutting back on it is going to cut a lot of calories, which eventually it's going to lead to weight loss, assuming you're not making it up with some other food or something like that. But yeah, that's what I wanted to mention, those things.
Well, I mean, even if you can't give up Coca-Cola to start off with, go and have a Diet Coke to start off with, and work your way down, and then have a water and ease yourself in. One thing I was going to say is, in 2010, I done a half marathon here in the UK, the Plymouth Half Marathon, and I was about the same weight as what I am now. And we was in work, and me and my friend Neil were talking, and he says, in June they got the Plymouth Half Marathon. I bet you couldn't do it. And I was just like, I bet you could. No, I'd have to work hard, but I reckon I could do it. Yeah, I don't reckon you can do it. So I held myself accountable, right? I went out there, I got the paperwork, I signed it, and I said, right, I'm going to do the half marathon. And I had 6 months to go from not being able to run 1 mile to running 13 miles, right? And I can remember it was January the 1st I started, and, I got my running shoes and my running gear, and I went out the front door, and I decided that I was going to do a lap around the block, which was exactly a mile. And I know that because I got in the car and drove around it. And I felt like absolute shit. I walked half of it, and I felt shit. I could feel my man boobs slapping against my chest, and I was just like, how the hell am I going to do 13 miles for this half marathon? But the one thing that kept me going was accountability. I held myself accountable. I told people that I was going to do it. I had family and friends and relatives that had put money down to sponsor me, and I had to do it, right? And I did it. I did it in 2 hours, 2 minutes. And that was the biggest achievement that I've ever done in my life, was that, right? And it just felt so, so good. So all of these people, and Harmony will vouch for this now, all of these people that say, oh, my body's not built for running. I'm a big chunky guy. I'm not built for running. How much bullshit is that, Harmony?
It's total bullshit. I told myself that for so long, and I was such a hater too. If I'd see somebody running, I'd be like, oh, look at them. They're runners. I'm a runner. I was such a shit talker. And my justification was, I'm not built for running. If I had a dime for every time I said that, I've got big boobs, I'm this, I'm that. It doesn't feel right. My knees hurt. Like, I've used it all. Bullshit. It was bullshit.
Harmony, you still are a shit talker, by the way.
Oh, I always will be. If I've got time before my last breath, I'm going to tell everybody fuck straight off right before I leave.
I heard you say I will.
Sorry. I fucking love that. That's amazing.
That's so good.
That is really cool. I love that.
Lee, did you want to say something? Because you put your hand up there before Rodney rudely jumped on top of you.
Yeah, I could just imagine Harmony on a deathbed going, come closer. And you get really close, you go, fuck off. But yeah, there was a guy a little bit rotund at the gym, and I nearly spat my water out because I was finishing up a workout and I was on the treadmill, and he was having a PT session, and they said, oh yeah, tomorrow we'll do some running. And the guy was like, whoa, yeah, I can't do running. I'm not made for running. He went, no, not like that. You're not, you chubby bastard. I thought it was hilarious. I nearly died.
Lisa's just put, my weight is in a great place, diet fair, exercise very inconsistent. So who wants to bring something up about that there then? Go on, Howard.
Well, if it's inconsistent, then if it's a priority to you to exercise, then you need to make the time in order to do it. And as Lee mentioned, he doesn't have a gym, but he went out and walked. He did burpees. I remember I've done a weightlifting session, calisthenics, body weight in my house before. I take 2 chairs. I would take a broomstick, put it in between the 2 chairs, and I could do pull-ups with it. Easy. You have a little makeshift pull-up there. Air squats, push-ups. You know, there's ways you can adjust those in terms of to account for different strength levels and everything. But it depends on if it's a priority to get exercise consistently in. If it's not, then, and this is not just at Lisa said, anybody, we'll make excuses. Make excuses why, it can't get done. Oh, I'm going to start Monday doing it. Well, no, as we just said, start today. Exercise doesn't have to be an hour long. I mean, even if you just go take a walk for 5 minutes, that's exercise. It's better than where you were before.
And how good does the diet need to be? Lisa said a diet's fair, but 80% of weight loss is diet. So is fair good enough?
And then I think this is what I wanted to touch on is I don't think people go below that desire enough. I don't think that they really root around in the reasons that they, first of all, that they want to start eating good and exercising. Why do you want to do that to begin with? Have you had a conversation with yourself about that? Because maybe you don't have to exercise. Maybe you can, because exercise is such a broad term. Maybe you could go down and start doing some Zumba. Maybe you can go every Friday and Saturday night and take a salsa dancing class for a couple hours every Friday and Saturday. Maybe you can go swim. Maybe you can join a hula hooping group. Like, it doesn't have to be exercise and whatever that traditionally means. So I think that when people say, okay, I've got this goal, I think that that's where they start. That's their foundation. They don't say, why do I have this goal? Why is this my goal? And then from there, when you do start the goal and you start to struggle or waver, ask yourself why. And that's what I was going to ask you, Mark, is when you struggled with the eating, first of all, why do you think you're doing that? You don't even have to answer if it's closed, if it's like private, but why the food? Have you gotten down to the nitty gritty of that? And then like what's that rooted in? You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? I think people don't ask the right questions when it comes to why they keep failing on stuff.
I do. And that's why I was using why I was calling it self-sabotage, because for me, I've always put pressure on myself because I've always said that I look fat. And when I was younger, I had people not take the mickey at me, but every time there's a saying that you think you look fatter than what you actually do. Right now, my legs, my shoulders, my arms, my chest is solid, but I've got a man belly, because that's where men put it on first.
What's that, Howard? Visceral fat? That's the worst kind. That's the worst kind.
Yeah, the visceral fat's the one around your organs. That's the one you don't want, and that's why men, because you're right around your organs. There's where all that belly fat goes. That's
fine. On my it says that it's what's the one beginning with S? That's the actual visual.
Subcutaneous.
That's underneath.
I kind of pulled a Mark.
Yeah,
knew it was something like that.
And it's like I've always, that's the one way I
subcutaneous.
That's the one way I kick myself in the bollocks, is my weight. So when I'm doing well with myself and I'm happy, right, it's almost like my mind's saying to me, oh, you don't deserve to be skinny. You don't deserve to be losing all this weight. And that's when I go into self-sabotage mode. And that's the way I've looked at it in the past. Now, I don't know why I eat, but it's my issue at the moment is I'm trying to get to the bottom of why I eat. And I just
you're getting joy from that. You're eating because it's good. It's delicious. Like whatever you're picking. I mean, those are the questions that I would, if I was your support system or helper or therapist or whatever, when it came to helping you navigate. In other words, I think with what you're struggling with, you would need something beyond a personal trainer. I think what's going on with you is rooted in your emotion. And whether we want to admit it or not, it's rooted in people picking on you for being fat. And it's rooted in how mean people can be and how much that sticks with us. I mean, I was a chubby kid, you know, I've had chubby cheeks my whole life, and I'll always have them no matter how skinny I get, you know. I'll always have a butt. I'll always have big boobs. I'll always have a little pooch in my stomach, but I've kind of reframed it, and I think it's sexy. I look at belly dancers and I'm like, belly dancers are sexy. You know what I mean? Like, it really is just, I just think for me and the growth I've done, whether it's you losing weight or trying to start a business or whatever it is you're trying to do, we're not asking ourselves the right questions. We're not talking to ourselves. Like, even the stuff that Lisa wrote here, all the answers are in her stuff here. Right. So, she says she's very honest about her exercise is very inconsistent. Her diet is fair. Her weight is in a great place. Okay. So right there, how I would judge Lisa, not in a mean way, but if I was going to respond to her, I'd say, okay, then you don't really want to lose weight. If you feel like your weight is in a great place, then what you need to start looking at movement and exercise as more of like a long-term preventative maintenance, so that as you age, you've got, you know, do some weight bearing exercises so your bone consistency stays strong, and like, you know, do some things that keeps your blood pressure down. And you're not looking at, so many people look at exercise traditionally as losing weight. And this for Lisa, because she said her weight's in a great place, she's not in dire need of losing weight. She doesn't feel like she needs to lose weight. So she has to put a spin on that and be like, I'm looking at now exercise as a form of longevity, not to get into a smaller pair of pants. And even here, she's saying everything. I have an exercise bike right in front of my TV. I need to get focused. So she knows what the problem is. I do get exercise from yard work. I know I need to incorporate more than that. And so for her, for me, if I was telling her, I'd say switch your perspective on that. It's not about weight. It's not about looking better in your jeans. It's for you. It's about the internal parts of it. And for you, it's more about what you want. You want to look sexier, 6-pack abs.
Who, me?
Uh-huh.
No, it's not that at all. I mean, I just
you
would
just
like
feel it. You want it to come off.
Yeah, I just would like to get into some. I don't see the weight that I've put on. I see it when I put on my clothes that I love. So,
yeah, I don't see it either. I mean, I don't ever really see your full body, but I don't ever see it.
So when I go to put on my shirt or my jacket or my shorts that I normally like and I feel good in, when I can't get into those, then that's when I self-sabotage a bit, I think, you know. So, and it works in a complete cycle. And I just want to say what Lisa's put there, you know, I have an exercise bike right in front of the TV. We have got one upstairs right in front of the TV as well. And the only exercise that other thing gets seen is when you use the duster to dust it off.
Hang your coat on it.
Yeah, it's just got like rugs and stuff hung on it. And do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's sad, you know. And one thing I was going to say as well is the word exercise and diet and gym, right? I think sometimes that's very, very off-putting. Is there any way that you can change that word so you don't use the word exercise, change it to something else, so that, you know, you're retraining your mind that way? That's
absolutely. I mean, that's what you guys would all agree. This is all about this is all about the way your mindset is on something. Like, call it playtime. For me, I say I'm going to the woods, or I'm going to do my movement. I'm going to run with my dog. Like, I don't say going to exercise, you know. I mean, I'm going to work out. I mean, it's just whether we want it to or not, we're conditioned to look at exercise and diet and eating good and taking care of ourselves as fuck.
And the thing is as well is that nobody minds going to the gym when they're looking at their best and they're feeling at the best. But nobody wants to go to the gym when they're feeling way overweight and they're feeling shit about themselves. And that's a thing as well. That's a thing that gets in people's head that, oh, I can't go to the gym because I need to lose some weight before I go to the gym so that I can look good.
And that's the problem.
I mean, I'm in that situation now. I'm making excuses about going to the gym, or I can't afford to go to the gym. You know, it's £35 a month. I can't afford to be going to the gym. You know, these excuses that we make to not go to the gym, you know, and, you know.
I got to ask Lee, because I just see his little fucking smirk. I love it. That check-in you left on whatever day that was fucking hilarious. And I was like, I pick on him too much. I can't say anything. I'm gonna let Lee or somebody else take this one, because you were like a hubbada. I was like, what the fuck was that? He's like, yeah, I've got a treadmill. And then you got on and you were talking about the gym. You're like, yeah, I don't really like treadmills. I was like, wait, what? What did you just say?
But that's the thing, you see. For me, I'm using the excuse that I got money that I would rather spend it on better than going to the gym, or I don't really like going to the gyms. And what I was trying to say is that the exercise that I can do in my life, I don't necessarily have to go to the gym. The one thing I've got to work out is what I eat first, because I do 30 to 40,000 steps a day. There's no
Yeah,
reason.
but that's a moot point. That's a moot point. Your body is so used to you doing that you're not, I mean, yeah, you're moving and it's better than having a desk job, but your body is so used to it could be 60,000 steps, but your body's used to that. So I would do, even if you went for 10 minutes around the block, you don't even have to go fast. I would do something above and beyond. I'm saying running because your body's got walking whooped. You know what I mean? But like, did you do any kind of movement or exercise today that would get your heart rate up?
I went on a fast walk. Walk. So, that was a strenuous thing.
That's good.
But yeah, it's getting started. And I like I said there, and what Lee, I put there the other day that I would like to do the 5K. And Lee said, don't say I would like, say I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so are you gonna change that statement then, Mark? Or
I got to get a pair of trainers first, mate.
I gotta.
I'll tell you guys a story. I think I've mentioned it before, so please let me. Well, you guys may know it, but everybody else watching won't. So this was in 2017. I did the Spartan Beast, which is the 12 to 15 mile Spartan race. I'm going up the hill, and they have you carry a sandbag going up this hill, so it's pretty hard. And they were honoring like veterans that weekend. There was a man there going up the hill with a sandbag who had no legs. He would pull the sandbag to his waist, then push himself up, grab the sandbag, push, and he had like 4 or 5 people around him. So then they would tell people, hey, go around us. It takes a while. He was doing it. He had no fucking legs. And
yeah,
so,
you want to be motivated, go to a Spartan race and talk about the epitome of community, the epitome of motivation, inspiration. I mean, I volunteered. I usually volunteer because then I get a free race credit or whatever, because they're pretty expensive. And this particular place they had me this day was at the end of the race where you cut the bracelets off, that's got the digital information in it. And I'm right at the end where they've got the A-frame. Howard knows. And you have to climb over the A-frame and then you jump through the fire. They were carrying a man and his wheelchair who had done the entire race across this A-frame. And I just had a moment, man. I really, when you see people that have put themselves in a position where it's nothing but struggle, anytime you start to say, I'm tired, my back hurts, I can't, it's so fucking gross to me. Like, if there's anything that I despise, unless you're 2 years old, is whining. I think it's a turn off. It's unproductive. It's childish. And then when you put yourself in a position as you grow and you start rubbing elbows with people who are doers, you know what I mean? Because it really does. Unfortunately, if you've got people around you that suck, they're keeping you down. Their drama, their bullshit, their eating habits, their sleeping habits, all of that is bleeding onto you every day, right? So it really is just about putting yourself in a situation. If you're going to have to be around people that suck at life, say, I don't want to hear your bullshit. There's people out there doing Spartan races that are 12 and 15 miles long that have no legs. So, I mean, I know it sounds silly, but life is what you make it. And I just think that there's just like the one-legged woman I told you was in my hot yoga class, probably 15 years older than me, easily body style, probably 30 pounds overweight, and got into a car accident and lost her leg from the knee down. And she was one of the best yoga performers in the class. And it's just seeing things like that it's hard to not keep pushing.
Yeah.
Period.
I agree with that. I find like in spots I need that. I need to see those things, because you can forget. And I pride myself on, looking at things like that on purpose, like, you know, seeking those things out because I do want to be reminded. And it is kind of, you know, but, you know, a lot of times if you're talking to somebody, or if you know, you mentioned like, you know, the way people are, or if somebody's a loser, or not a loser, but if they're doing, you know, if their life is perpetually, you know, like a victim, there's always something. It's also drains you spending time trying to, you know, because you actually have to get down. Yeah, you actually have to get down in there, you know, with them and have these conversations continuously. So, yeah, I agree. And I wanted to touch on too, with the food, you know, if we can go back as far as when you're a little kid, right? You did something good, you got a cookie, you got a reward, you got a, you know,
Yeah.
so,
Oh man.
and
good point.
listen, the shit is delicious. So, you know, it's a go-to, you know, like, when you are feeling your worst and you do self-sabotage with the food, you know exactly the kind of food you want to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh, you know what I'm gonna have right now? I'm gonna, you know, so, and that's where they have that stereotypical thing where it'd be like somebody with a breakup in front of the TV with a big thing of ice cream,
Mhm.
you know, crying, and, you know, but though, you know, it's very real. You know, you go to those vices, whether it be alcohol, whether it be, you know, drink, drugs. So people tend to do that. What are some things that, other than, because we talked about taking a pause, taking a deep breath and thinking, but what are some other things that people can do when their go-to is literally like right next to you to avoid that? So if you're that stress is building, you know it's coming, you know you got this problem, and it's easier to say, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna grab this bottle.
I
Like,
have a really good answer for that.
what are some of the things that anybody listening can put in place?
Play the
know?
movie out to the end, baby.
Yeah.
Play both options out to the end and say, so this week was really busy for me. I've been hiring clients. It's been really, I've been setting boundaries all up in this bitch. And by Wednesday, I was like, I want a drink. I do. I just want to come home. I want to have a couple drinks on the back porch and do my thing. And I never did. I never did until Saturday night. I had a couple beers and I had fun just sitting here watching music videos and things like that. But I didn't want to drink on a school night. I had shit I wanted to do. I wanted to keep my motivation. I wanted to go to my, I knew I played that movie out till the end. And I said, okay, Harmony, if you stop by the liquor store, you stop and get a 6-pack of beer, play that movie out to the end. So it's a Wednesday night. You didn't go do your movement because you decided to have a couple drinks. And now it's, 10 o'clock at night, you have a buzz, you're eating something you wouldn't normally be eating because you got a buzz. Now you're going to wake up. You're not going to be feeling as spry as you normally would, which is going to delay your whole day tomorrow, which means you might not put on a good exercise or a good movement the next day. So I played that movie out to the end and I just talked myself out of it. And you naturally will talk yourself out of shit if you put yourself in that frame of mind. And you pointed out something, Rodney, that I think is so awesome and could be so helpful for people, that yes, when we were children, even now, you're rewarded. Here, oh my God, if you're good, we can have ice cream when we go home. If you're good, we can order a pizza. What if from time kids were little, they were like, oh my God, if you're good, we'll go get some sushi. Ooh, guess what? If you're good, we're going to have really delicious piece of grilled chicken off the grill. Like, we would grow up looking at those things as rewards as opposed to cookies and cakes. And it's just how our society is. But wouldn't you agree that if we all were formed differently as children, we would turn into adults with a whole different mindset about food and what's good and what's bad?
Absolutely.
I can remember years and years and years ago going to the dentist and the dentist saying to me, well, Mark, that's fantastic. You've got beautiful teeth. Here's a sweet.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, you've just told me I've got fucking fantastic teeth and now you want to give me a sweet to rot them. Yeah. And that's a brilliant point there, Rodney. And one thing as well, I'd like to just end up there as well, is I was listening to somebody talking there on the I think it was on a Rogan episode, and he was going on about what's quite interesting is poverty in food, because once upon a time when you were poor and you had no money and you didn't have a pot to piss in, people were really skinny, really small because they weren't eating properly. And a sign of poverty was being really skinny and really really malnutritioned and tiny. Now, a sign of poverty is obesity. Now, it's quite bizarre, that, isn't it? How times have changed.
Well, I would say part of it is the stuff that is going in the food. Processed foods are cheaper, right? So if you're impoverished, it's easier to buy, super sugary granola bars than it is to, buy some of the healthy foods. So, and it's also, you think about impoverished areas, a lot of people don't have transportation. So they're going to use the corner store. They're going to use the, not the big chains. And it's not a, pub for a big supermarket chains. I'm just saying the options. You have more options. And we can get into that. But there's also a difference. And I know because I drive around and I go to different supermarkets.
And you grew up in a situation where you saw firsthand that a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese is very delicious. It's still one of my favorite things. But it's cheap. And
Yeah.
so if you've got a certain amount of food stamps or, government money, an ATM card or whatever from the government, you're going to try and get, especially if you've got kids,
More bang for your buck.
Yeah, you're going to try and get all the food you can. You're not going to go spend it on the lean beef that your card would cover that. But are you going to get one little thing of lean beef, or are you going to get 10 things of macaroni?
And the other thing too, I want to point out, because I know we're coming to the end, because I go to different supermarkets in different neighborhoods, you'll notice there's a difference in the choices that are in the supermarkets that are closer to poorer neighborhoods. Like you have to go to another neighborhood, you have to go to another area to get certain foods. So there's a lot of reasons why, people are heavier. I would love to do like a deep dive into that. Yeah, when people say things to get you thinking, that's the beginning of the conversation. So with that guy saying that should be like the spark of a conversation. Like, okay, let's see what that is. So I definitely appreciate that.
Well, I think we've pretty much all agreed there, really, that if you want to achieve anything in life, you've got to be mentally and physically fit, really. And it's time for all of us to achieve our goals and achieve our dreams and all work together and let's get mentally and physically fit together. You know where we are, guys. If you're watching us, get in contact with us and we'll help you as much as we possibly can. I'm there on Instagram now, and I'm going to be doing let's try and rephrase this. I will be before Spartacus down there jumps on my back. I will be posting all my food and my weight there each day now, and using accountability on Instagram to make me achieve my dreams.
I was very inspired and was really proud of you when I saw your videos, and I immediately thought, I wonder how many men, even if it's 2 men, will come across that and see you cooking that meal. And you talking about how easy it was. I mean, it has the potential to be very inspirational to a lot of people. And I was very proud of you.
Well, I mean, one excuse that I use there is the fact that tomorrow I'll be getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I can't make that tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the morning because I'll be crashing and banging and crashing pans and that and waking the whole house up. But there's other ways of getting around.
You could have made double today and put the other half in the fridge.
Exactly.
But you'll learn as you go. I mean, you'll learn as you go.
And one thing
wake them people up, man. Wake them people up.
They need to be up.
Yeah, wake them up.
I'm up. You need to get up too.
You're up, bitch. Yeah.
I didn't say that, but
there's one thing that I can do as well, even if I can't be bothered in the mornings, and that is to make those fuel shakes that I do just for breakfast in the morning to get me out of the house in the right direction. It's easy, and so that's another thing there. But I just want to go around the room here now then to finish up with, what bit of advice can each and every one of us give to getting started with our fitness? Start off with you, Harmony.
Just be honest with yourself. Just really, really, really try to have a conversation with yourself the way you would anybody that you loved. And just, if you have something that you want to do and you start to waver, just stop and ask yourself why are you giving up on yourself? What piece of advice would you give your husband? What piece of advice would you give your daughter, your biggest loved one, if they were starting to waver on a goal that was very important to them? And understand how much of this is mental. Doesn't matter your body type, doesn't matter your abilities. It's so mental. And shameless plug, if you need help with that, theblissbroker.com. It's right there next to my name. Come find me.
Rodders, you're over to you, mate. Microphones for you.
Come find me. All right. Crawl, walk, and then run. Start today. And this accountability, get you some accountability partners people who
Bastard, that's what I was going to use.
people who are I'm gonna put this out there. Okay. If we until we started doing this, we didn't know each other, right? When you think about it, normally here's what people do when it becomes to group and organizations. A lot of times people go with what's familiar, right? So theoretically, I would find I would find Black people who look like me and who, could, and we would get together. And, Mark, you would find people in the UK who so my point is, for your accountability, don't limit it as well. You don't want to be in an echo chamber. If you're going to have accountability, you do not want to be in an echo chamber. The stuff that Mark was talking about going behind the scenes and Voxer happens most of the time. It happens because Harmony challenges something, but it's necessary. And at the end of the conversation, there was no hard feelings. There was no you can hit it. Go ahead and hit it.
No, I only wanted to just little stick it in there quickly.
I love it. That's what he said.
All right, I'm done.
Fantastic information. It's true. Find somebody who is on the same page with what you're trying to do and just hang out with them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Don't limit it to, okay, I need this type of group. I need that. No, find people who are going to be willing to push you and have you be able to push them, and you can do it constructively. Sometimes it may get heated, it may get a little loud or whatever, but find people that are like-minded. That's going to push you, because in those times when you're ready to quit or you're ready to give up, you just hop in there and say, hey man, I'm not really feeling good today. I think I want to, and it's good to have good, honest feedback.
Yeah.
Howard, what advice? I know what advice he's going to use. I know what he's going to say.
Well, to start with, I would say establish what you want. Like we used exercise and diet. What is it you want to achieve from your exercise and diet? Do you just want to be healthier? Do you want to be there for your kids, to be able to play with your kids, like run around with them, play baseball, whatever it is like that? Or do you plan on being the next Mr. Olympia or something like that? Once you determine what your goal is, then you can determine, okay, what's the amount of effort, time, everything, dedication I need to put into it. It takes a lot more dedication to be Mr. Olympia and genetics as well than to be just overall just healthier. And as Harmony said, it's a mindset. There is a reason why, here's the shameless plug, there's a reason why it's called SMB, spirit, mind, body nutrition, because the body follows what the mind and the spirit want it to follow. You go exactly where your mind goes. If you think, oh, I'm negative, I don't have the right training shoes or trainers or whatever, tennis shoes, well, then you're not going to get up and run. You got to have the mindset. And that goes along with knowing what it is that you want. Then Rodney, real quick. And then what Rodney had, set up an accountability group.
I thought it said S&M on top of your protein powder, Howard.
Well, I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat, man. This is a non-judgmental, diversity, all inclusion company.
Cracking the whip.
Spartacus, what about you? What advice have you got? Anybody?
Every aspect of your life is a direct consequence of every decision you've ever made. So ask yourself, are you happy with your situation? If you're not, change the decisions that you make.
Good call. Good call.
100.
We need a sounding thing for when
Yeah,
Spartacus.
all of
gives
us need
that.
bitmojis. So
Yeah. For
Bitch
me,
emojis.
his needs to be unstoppable.
See, for that, it's the mic drop.
Yeah, that's all.
Need to have it to the sound of like kung fu fighting. I'm unstoppable. Kung fu fighting.
For me, I would say start planning your life a little bit better on a Sunday evening. Take an hour out of your life on a Sunday evening to start planning your meals for the week, planning what you're going to do, going exercises and all that stuff. Just start, thinking about. So when you get home from work, it's not a rush to get out the door. You know exactly what you're going to do. You're not putting pressure on yourself. You know exactly what you do. You're planning your life a little bit better, because all of us at times don't plan our day good enough.
So that being said, what are you having for brekkie tomorrow?
I don't know. I've got to go and do some planning.
He's gonna have Huel.
I'll get some
I'm here,
trainers.
Mark, with my Huel shake.
I'll be looking for you on the IG.
I was going to have a Huel, but to be honest with you, I feel like I've got to do so. I was going to do an oats recipe. There's an oats thing that I can go there and make now. So it's overnight oats or something. You make an oats and put it in your fridge or something. So I might go ahead and
Chocolate
do that.
yogurt on it.
Yeah.
Sounds
You know
good.
what goes well with oats?
Protein shake.
No,
20 grams.
a nice juicy steak.
Oh, I love
Mark.
steak.
Oh, I got rid of the murder thing that earlier on. Yeah, cool. Anyway, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for joining us. Harmony, do you want to tell the world where they can find us? And
Yeah, you guys come find us on Instagram at official5deep on Instagram. I think I'm going to create a TikTok for us, y'all. I think I'm doing it. I've been tempted because TikTok's my jam. And then official5deep@gmail.com. Come find us. Come find me.
Also, too, go look at our individual YouTube pages too. If you like our personalities, or you want to, get a little bit more of us, we all each have.
Oh, we should
individual
pin them.
YouTube
We should
pages.
pin them in here, huh, Rodney? I'm bad
Yeah.
about YouTube.
Yeah, well, I guess we can do that. We'll try to do it next week.
yeah. And then incidentally, if you've got any topics, any debates that you'd like us to bring up next week, please get in contact with us. Drop us an email, official5deep@gmail.com, and just send us a message. Send us an individual message. It will get to us, I promise you. Raise a question and we will do our best to talk about it next week. But until then, stay safe, stay classy, look after yourselves, and plan your week ahead. Get out there and just start kicking some freaking butt.
Bye, everybody. Have a good week. Knock that shit
Bye-bye.
out of the park.